Damn.
MC, make another hit.
Whoa. This ain't what you want.
Project
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna I just wanna rock. Body yada yada. Shorty got that body yada yada. Hit it once, no time. Side up, fuck, you gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my side. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5. That's my high. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5.
MC, make another hit.
Whoa. This ain't what you want.
Project
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
Project
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 1600 block.
HBCUs are more than a trend.
Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the #1 outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio, here in the building for another special edition of the HBCU Experience Movement interview. We are promoting the HBCU Experience, the Grambling State University edition. It is coming soon. You saw the trailer. We're definitely going to try to play it again at the end of the broadcast, so make sure to stay tuned for that. We have some amazing brothers, Grambling State University alumnus in the house. Superstars in the building. Super excited to talk to them about their time on the yard. We have Deitrich Armstrong and Donald Williams Jr. And we're going to be bringing on Deitrich first. He's a DJ. If y'all know about HBCU Pulse, you know we love HBCU DJs. We had the Battle of the DJs rocking. We had it on YouTube. So if you know about us, you already know how the conversation is going to go. So let's go on and bring him on. He's also known as DJ General Mills. He's done so many amazing things from Grambling State University. Let's go on and bring him on. DJ General Mills. Okay, of course, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I like the intro. I appreciate you for the intro, my brother.
Yeah, man. Listen, we gotta bring the energy, man. You big time. You big time.
You know, we do a little something here, a little something there. That's about it, though. We ain't too big.
No, I feel you. But first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Originally born and raised in Chicago. Went to high school in San Antonio, Texas. While I was in high school at San Antonio, decided to one day be like, all right, I want to go to college. And my mom was like, well, listen, you got aunties and uncles who went to Grambling. Do you want to go there? And I said, well, I don't know. So one day we took a trip up to Grambling during the Jackson State game, which, I mean, it's one of the biggest rivalry games. Place was packed out, looked like a homecoming game. Everything was just booming. It was probably one of the best experiences I've seen at a game. And so that kind of just sealed the deal for me in regards to deciding to go to, Grambling. And then, I was there for 4 years. I was in the band. I was getting my degree in chemistry. And in between all of that, I was DJing, and that's how my DJ career started. And then after that, moved to Texas. Was a chemist out there for a little bit, and then in 2016 moved to Atlanta. I've been here ever since.
I love it. I love it. So let's just really go on and get into it. So walk us through, just your college experience. What I'm going to do is I'm going to name a year, and I want you just to give us a brief synopsis of your year. So tell us about your freshman year.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, the first semester of my freshman year wasn't nothing really happening because I was in the band. We was band practice every day. It was from 3:30 to 6:30, 7 o'clock, depending on when they let us out. Then we, would eat dinner for about an hour, hour and a half. And then we go to band practice again. And that'll be from, 7:30, 8 o'clock until when they let us out. It might be 10:30, might be 11, might be midnight. And so that was every day during football season. So my first semester, I didn't really get to experience any parties, any clubbing, none of that. It was just about the games and just figuring out college and in regards to balancing. My second semester is when I was wilding, partying. We was out there partying, going crazy. Just getting into everything, going to Monroe, Louisiana or Ruston, Louisiana, just to go party, Shreveport. That was the first time that I went to New Orleans. That wasn't a Bayou Classic. So got to experience kind of that atmosphere. So that was my freshman year. It was real good time, a lot of partying, probably too much partying. Wouldn't recommend that, but it was a good time.
I feel it. So let's talk about your sophomore year. Like, what was sophomore year like for you?
Sophomore year was a little different. You kind of solidify, right? You've already gone through the first year, everything cool. In regards to band, that's where everything kind of, was picked up. At that point, I'd already done a year. So now I'm cooking. Now I'm having a good time in the band. In regards to my DJ career, that's when it kicked off. That's when it started. Went to a house party. This DJ named Brian was in there. I didn't even know he was a DJ. And he had some software on his laptop. Didn't even know you could DJ off your laptop at that point in time. And he's like, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $20. Found out later it was free. So he kind of, he got off on me, pause, with the little $20, but cool. I let it go. But anyway, enjoyed it in regards to the DJ software. And right around that time period, I did my very first party. And so that was just a great experience. It was literally, it was a party that we did. It was some girls that asked me to DJ a birthday party. I DJ'd there for 8 hours, and it was for $50 and a bowl of Rotel. And that was it. And I really that was my experience to partying. After that, it just kind of set off. And that was kind of my sophomore year, just really expanding on the DJing, trying to do as many little house parties or dorm room parties or whatever I could get into. And that was really my sophomore year.
I love it. I love it. So junior year, I always consider that for me, like my peak year. Like that's when things started to really come together on the yard. So what was junior year like for you?
The same. At that point, I kind of really started to establish myself. Junior year was kind of where, the band, had started to take kind of a back seat in regards to everything. Because at that point, it was really monotonous. Everything was just kind of the same old. So I was able to focus on my DJing and then my actual chemistry degree, right? In order for me to be in school, I got to graduate. So I was actually being able to focus on that. And then my DJ career, that's when it kind of really took off. I was doing mixtapes right around the tail end of my junior years when I got my own nightclub. So I had 3 nights. I was the only DJ on campus to have a residency. So having a consistent money coming in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every week. I'm sorry. It was just one of the best things to truly experience. And it was just different. At that point, you're on school. Everybody knows you for the most part. Everybody sees you. So you're really just enjoying yourself. So it was a really good time.
So, like, is it really? Because I know, like, I had a lot of my friends. They were hosts on campus. They were DJs on campus, and I know because I went to Fort Valley State University. You know what I mean? So it might be a little
Okay.
bit different at Grambling because Grambling is bigger. So, like, is the campus DJ like? Are the campus DJs really like popping? They really got clout on the yard like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you, if I'm being honest, right? I'm just being honest. I think that there are quite a few different people on campus who got, who the big dogs, right? Obviously some of the main football players. I would put the drum majors up there as well, but I would say the DJs. The DJs are right along there with you. When I was my freshman and sophomore year, there were certain DJs that were up there, and then by the time my junior and senior year came around, we became those big dogs. So, it was about 4 or 5 of us kind of, just cycling in all the different parties and events. And, we basically ran things, and that was kind of one of those things where it was enjoyable. We had DJ battles on the yard, DJ battles in the auditorium. But, we used to collaborate and, do stuff together as well. So, it was really enjoyable, but it was also like it was the time period. I was in school from 2007 to 2011, so the music was just starting to really take off. That's when Travis Porter, Waka Flocka really taking off. That's when Boosie was still being Boosie, Wayne was still Wayne. So the parties was really different, and then plus we had a very big island community, right? St. Lucia, Dominica, Jamaican. So we had a lot of dance hall and, reggae and soca and all of that. So being able to throw all of that in, plus you had all your coast, you had Cali, which was deep, Chicago, which was deep, Miami, and then, just all of these different areas, Texas, coming together all at this one school. It really pushed you to be a DJ to know all your different music. So when you did, it was only a few elite that did know how to do that. So yeah, you definitely became the man.
So I got to ask this. I've actually never asked the DJ this, even all my experience dealing with DJs. Is the off-campus event more valuable than the on-campus event? And the reason why I asked that is because, you said that you had that residency, at a club, and you get money consistently from that. And then you have on-campus events. Like, yeah, that's the yard and everything's all good and all that. But at the same time, at some points, some DJs don't get paid. And sometimes it is a lot of red tape going on. So, once you get to that certain status as an off-campus DJ, is on-campus even valuable anymore?
Yeah, it's still very valuable. We had a couple of DJs from other campuses who, were trying to get they foothold at Grambling, and they were struggling because they weren't at Grambling. They weren't doing on campus events at Grambling. At the exact same time, if you did those events, it was a lot of tape to go through, right? You gotta sign documents, you gotta do a W-2. It's a net 30 account, which means that you would do the event and then you would get paid 30 days later. And as a broke college kid, you can't convince me to do your event in March and I got to wait till the end of April to get my money. So there was, those are the types of things. At the exact same time, it gave you your power. If I was a freshman, I saw a DJ in Monroe, Louisiana, which is 30 minutes away, or in Shreveport, an hour away, and I saw that same DJ on Grambling's campus, then I would be like, okay, that man, he doing something. It was a badge of honor to be a Grambling DJ. That's why so many DJs try to come in and come out in regards to just being a representative of the university, but it's only so few that you can honestly say, like, they was the man during their time period. And so, I respect all DJs now coming up out of Grambling or any HBCU for that matter.
I feel it. Hey, like being an HBCU DJ, like that's the soundtrack of the yard, man. So like that's super duper important. So let's talk about your senior year, because that's when you about to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? So what was senior year like for you?
I was the man, plain and simple. Not to sugarcoat or nothing like that. I was the man. I had my residencies. I was doing my events. I was doing all my parties. I I had my mixtapes booming at that time. You know, we were going to Panama City Beach and passing out free mixtapes. And I was, you know, at this point, I went from using my laptop CD burner to getting a 7-deck CD burner. So I was burning thousands of CDs at the time, putting them in the jewel cases. I was handcrafting the front and the back covers with my, you know, social media. My marketing was just top tier. So, you know, pushing tapes. I was going to different campuses. You know, we was going to Louisiana Tech and ULM, and which is the University of Louisiana in Monroe, and you know, just hitting all these different college campuses, and just that was just around Grambling. Then, you know, doing the dorm room parties and hosting our own events. You know, our senior year, we had a house. It was me and 2 other roommates, and we had a house that was literally, I'll say about a half a mile away from campus. So we started just throwing parties at the house. You know, we did a barbecue in you know, July 4th and did free food. Then we did a bigger barbecue Labor Day when everybody came back. Then we did, you know, back in college, they used to have an ABC party, right, called Anything But Clothes, right? So you could wear anything that you wanted to that wasn't clothes, right? So people would come in dressed in like duct tape or sheets, or, you know, like, you know, one girl had like a caution thing, like the little caution thing that the police be putting up. That was just the normal thing, but we used to throw those types of parties, and people would go in and go crazy and really just enjoy themselves. And so, you know, having those types of parties at my own house, I was pushing my mixtapes there and letting people know, hey, show up to my nightclub. That way, when Thursday rolled around, Saturday rolled around, they was coming out there like clockwork. So, you know, just doing all of that. Plus, it was my final year of the band. At that point, I did a whole bunch of performances, right? I went to University of Reno in Nevada. I did the first inauguration of Barack Obama. I did Pittsburgh and Oklahoma State. I did an NFL game. I did so many performances in the band, my DJ career, plus I'm graduating with a degree in chemistry. I don't know too many people that graduate with STEM degrees, let alone degree in chemistry. So, you know, everything was just kind of just rocking and rolling. So I was really enjoying myself. So yeah, I was the man. That was it.
And I feel like, hey, you gotta just say it sometimes. You the man, you know what I'm saying? That's how it be.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's all right. My therapist told me I gotta stop being so humble. So I was the man.
Hey, therapy real too. Therapy real too. Listen,
oh yeah.
Black men go to therapy. Black men need to go to therapy, man. Like real talk.
For years, that's my dog, man. Me and her been through some wars. I appreciate her.
Yeah, hey, listen, I love hearing that, man, because Black men need to go to therapy. But you said this, I love hearing that. But you said this, so you said that in the band you performed at Barack Obama's inauguration, right?
Yeah.
So how was the first one? So how was it performing? That's even bigger because he really came out. So how was it performing his inauguration?
It was cold, you know. People ask me all the time, what was it like? It was cold, man. Like, it was historical, and we knew when, you know, listen, I don't know when did you go to HBC? What'd you say, Fort Valley?
Yeah. I went to Fort Valley. I started fall 2015, graduated fall 2019. So I was in middle school around that time.
Got you. Okay. All right. No. Okay, cool. So just to kind of give you, you know, an idea, right? When Barack Obama won that first year, I'm pretty sure this was everywhere, every college campus, everywhere. The streets got flooded with all the students, right? Because at Grambling, everybody left their dorm rooms, hit the yard, and they just took over, right? I'm talking about, we partied till about 3 a.m. You know, there was no DJ. A couple of kids broke in the band room and grabbed some drums and some tubas and started second lining down the street. And we created like a little parade. And I mean, it was that crazy. It was that much pandemonium. So when we woke up the next morning going to band practice, we knew we were more than likely going to perform at the inauguration. As soon as Dr. Pennell came down, that was the first thing he addressed. He said, look, I know y'all excited. I know y'all think we probably going to perform. We've already sent in our stuff. We just got to wait. A couple of weeks later, they said, all right, cool, we going. So, you know, they just kind of prepped us for it. Security was crazy. I remember that. We had to drive, so we had to drive up there. So we had to drive through Atlanta, then head up north to Washington, D.C. We stayed in Virginia, like 2 hours away. We had to wake up 3 a.m, the day of, drive to D.C. Got there at 5 a.m. and had 5 checkpoints. I'm talking about 5 of them bad boys. Each checkpoint was about an hour, because this is the first African-American president, black president, however way you want to look at it. And at that time, we didn't know what was going to happen. We knew there was going to be more than 1 million people there. So they had 5 checkpoints that we had to go through, check everything. And then after that, they put us on a bus. We bused to these tents, these white tents where they had all the bands and performers. There was other schools there. I think Howard was there. FAMU was there. I can't remember all the other schools, but they had other schools there. And we just sat in them tents for like 3 to 4 hours. It was 17 degrees in January. It was just cold. And then they just told you, you thought you was going to die, just freezing. They just said, everybody march. So we got our instruments. We just started marching. And, we was kind of happy to march at that point because they told us, like, you're going to stay warm. So we said, cool. We start hitting the block. We marching up and down. I think you got to march down Pennsylvania Avenue. And they told us, what's the thing? I was about to say Social Security. What is his the guards that guard the president?
Secret Service.
Secret Service. So Social Security, Secret Service, same thing. Anyway.
Basically, they really are.
Yeah, that same thing. Yeah, what you mean? Secret Service told us during every checkpoint, do not raise your hand, do not wave. Because if you do any sudden movements, we will believe that it is a threat to the president and we will take you out. And they told us this. They told everybody that. And we said, okay, cool. Man, as soon as we walked by and Barack and Michelle and Sasha and Malia all waving, everybody waving back at them. We didn't, because at that point, you can't take out the whole band. Like, y'all ain't got that many like shooters. So we all waving. Everybody waving. Everybody waving. Everybody, if you can go look, it's a clip on YouTube where it's like Grambling. You got to remember, it's the first inauguration, and you can see everybody waving, right? I think the song we played, "Walking Across," was "Signed, Sealed, Delivered" by Stevie Wonder. And you could just see people just waving. We didn't care. And then as soon as we were done, whole bunch of people came up to us and started offering us money for our clothes. The gloves on our hands, the shirts that we wore. I kept everything, right? I got everything secured, so ain't nobody just gonna run up on me. But I had people who sold their gloves for $100 each. And then they t-shirts, because on our t-shirts it said Grambling goes to the White House. So like we had a whole bunch of like stuff on us. Like it was dope. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, that was the experience. It was a good one.
That's dope. Like how I look at it, when it come to the Secret Service, but like in my mind, I'll be like, I ain't gonna wait because they can't take us all out. They wanted to, man. Get that rocket launcher, man.
But you're not gonna tell no kids from Grambling, Louisiana, who this is for a lot of these kids, and I'll be honest with you, this is probably for most HBCUs. But a lot of these kids, this is all they look up to, right? Is to be in the band and to do a big performance. So there's no bigger performance than to be a part of, a presidential inauguration, and no bigger inauguration than the first Black president when you go to an HBCUs representing a Black school in your state. So for them, that was their only moment, and for a lot of them, they waved. We all waved. It is what it is.
It really is. Listen, you here to tell the stories. That's real. There was they HBCU students, but we gonna let them wave. But now I probably would have waved. I would have been waving with y'all too. I would have been looking like so we've been looking a little bit.
Yeah, we just gonna have to go to jail. We'll deal with what we deal with it. Like, you just gonna have to go with it. We're gonna have to go with it.
Hey man, listen, like the president would have bailed us out, man. It was me. I would have been like, listen, get the general counsel on the phone right now. Like we're gonna get out of jail.
No, that's real.
But like, Yeah, it really is. But before we talk about, your chapter in the HBCU Experience, the Grambling State University edition, I want to ask you this. So, we have a lot of like entertainers at HBCUs that follow HBCU Pulse, especially on Instagram, and they're trying to make it happen after college. So what's your advice for HBCU DJs specifically to expand their career past college like how you did?
Oh, you got to take the risk. When I left a lot. Like I said, I left my own residency. I remember sitting down with the owner of the bar that I was at, and he took me out to steak dinner. It was him and his business partner. And they were like, listen, you kept our doors open for the past year and a half. We want to give you a raise and we want to convince you to stay. And I was like, as much as I appreciate it, I need to go, and that was a risk. And for the first few years after that, I contemplated how different my career would have been if I would have stayed, because the money wasn't worth it. I mean, the money was good for what I was at, but it would not have pushed me. But it was also something where for the next 2-3 years, I was like, damn, like I should have stayed. I should have took the money. Other than that, when you leave college, the first way to expand yourself, you gotta get out of the college mindset. That was one of the hardest things, luckily enough, I'm from Chicago, right? I don't know any Chicagoan who don't like house music. So I was always into house music. And right when I got out of college, that's when Calvin Harris, Steve Aoki, David Guetta, all these guys is blowing up. So that was house music. So I was able to just kind of jump into that. And from that, it allowed me to get into top 40 pop and country. My very first residency outside of Grambling was a country club. And I had no idea how to play country at all. But they was like, listen, we'll give you $125 a night. At that point, I had never seen that much money in my life in regards to DJing. So I said, yeah, I'll figure this out. I'll go look up who Miranda Lambert is, Blake Shelton, all it. So expanding yourself, that's number one. Number two, you got to have it in you to be a hustler, straight up. For a lot of times, a lot of people do this for the wrong thing, right? It's gonna come with the quote unquote groupies, right? The women or men or whatever, if you're a woman or a man DJ, right? It's gonna come with the groupies, and you may like it for that. It's gonna come with the fast money as well, and you may like it for that. But you got to be a hustler, straight up. You got to be able to look at other ways to make yourself bigger and get your name out there. Other ways to get more money. So that means back in my day it was pushing mixtapes. Now it might be creative TikToks, or it might be, I don't know, finding, selling your own chocolate bar at the nightclub with your DJ name on it. You just got to find creative ways to push yourself. That's number two. And then number three, you just got to take risk. You gotta put yourself back out there. I don't care what type of event it is. It could be a free event. It could be an event in Miami. You got to network, so you got to get out there anyway. Whatever that looks like, you just got to ask yourself, where do you want to be in regards to 5-10 years from now? And you got to push yourself straight up. All three of those things, in regards to networking, taking the risk, pushing yourself, and just being an overall hustler, you're gonna be wherever you want to be.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's going to be some valuable advice for all the folks that's going to watch like that. Is really out there making it happen, because there's a lot of talented HBCU DJs right now that know how to blend, they know how to rock a show, they know how to talk on the mic. But that next level is trying to make it after college. And as someone that was just, in college 4 years ago, like I know that's something that we all really stress about. So that's really some great advice. But let's talk a little bit about your chapter in the HBCU Experience, the Grambling State University edition, which I just found out is coming out May the 3rd on Amazon. So tell us a little bit about your chapter in the book.
Yeah, I kind of talk about, a lot of things. I start off with one of my bigger performances of my life when I was DJing for DMX. It was his first show out of jail, and we were on Revolt Television. And I talk about my experience from that. I also talk about, obviously the inauguration, being in the band, balancing, in regards to DJing and being a chemist and everything like that. But then, also talk about some of my future, some of my future endeavors. I own multiple businesses. And all of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my life. And honestly, to be quite honest with you, after finishing my chapter, it was kind of interesting because when you're reading it back to yourself before submitting it, you realize like, dang, like I've done a lot. It's been 14 15 years since I started this, and I've really done a lot. So it's really a nice little pat on my back, but it's also like, wow, like you don't realize it. You just thinking you're enjoying yourself, you doing something that you love. You don't really reflect and look back and be like, wow, I really made this a career. So yeah, that's basically it. I touch on all aspects of it. Just what's it like to be at an HBCU? What's it like to be in the band? The type of work ethic you have to have, the type of work ethic you have to become a STEM major. To work through chemistry and mathematics and all of those things that you don't care to, and then finally the balancing of being a DJ, working nightlife, doing all of that stuff. It's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Man, I love it, man. Like really, I'm super excited to read your chapter, and I want to really just implore all of the folks that's hustling on campus and entrepreneurs on campus, especially the DJs and the hosts, they definitely need to tap into your chapter, man. I really appreciate you coming on. So before you go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on all social media platforms, DJ General, MEALZ. So it's Meals with a Z. You can find me basically on any platform that you have, minus TikTok. I'm 34 years old. I'm not happy.
Facts.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Hey, so I'm 26, but Sam, I hate TikTok. Honestly, I hate TikTok.
It ain't for me. But I support it. I respect it. Some of my other businesses, we have a TikTok, but I'm just.
I feel it. I feel that. But man, listen, it was amazing talking to you, man. I'm definitely excited to read your chapter. And yeah, man, just keep doing the thing, man. And we room for you making it happen, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
My man, appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it. And good luck to y'all as well, man.
Most definitely. Thank you, man. All right. That was DJ General Mills, Grambling State University alumnus. Man, very comprehensive interview. Man, got a lot of great things handled. So now we're about to bring up Brother Donald R. Williams Jr., Grambling State University alumnus. We keeping the train rolling. He's already in the building. We're keeping the train rolling right now. Going to bring him on. Mr. Donald Williams Jr., how you doing today, sir? Oh, it looks like you're on mute. Let me unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. I was about to unmute you.
There we go. Yeah. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Just how's everything going?
Good, man. Just working and taking care of my family. I'm married. I've been married for at least 12 years this year, and I have 3 kids, 2 daughters and 1 son. And so right after this interview, I have to go and pick them up from school and daycare, and then head over to a baseball game. So that's what's going on here right now.
Hey, outside, when you outside, we love to see it. You gotta be sociable. No, I totally get it. For me, listen, I'm gonna be watching the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching my Atlanta Hawks lose to the Celtics. That's about to happen in a few minutes.
I understand. My Lakers played last night. They won, so I got a night off.
I'm a Lakers / LeBron fan too. So yeah, I was lit for that. I was lit for that. Okay. So I was very excited for that. But let's just go on and get into it. So what made you choose Grambling as your HBCU?
Man, honestly, my choice of Grambling was kind of out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. It was kind of a last minute decision, if I'm being honest. Fortunately, Grambling and some of the other HBCUs had rolling deadlines. And this was back in, 2000, I believe when I was considering this, it was 2002. So spring 2002. And so, yeah, it was, I received some information from one of my family friends who graduated from Southern University. and he was pushing Southern on me and kind of out of spite. I was like, no, I'm not going to Southern. I'm going to Grambling kind of thing. And so honestly, that's how I ended up at Grambling, which was the best decision I ever made, by the way.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about it. You heard the last interview. We're going to go through, your whole entire experience from freshman year to senior year. So tell us about your freshman year experience.
So freshman year, just got in from Los Angeles, California. It's hot and humid. For me, it could barely breathe kind of thing. Like I wasn't used to it first time in the South. It was actually the first time I had seen Grambling because I didn't visit the school before, attending. So I get there, see the lay of the land, and it was a good experience. I didn't really I knew maybe a couple people from the house, basically from LA, who I had known kind of growing up, whether it was, we crossed paths from mutual friends or from playing sports together. So, but I don't even remember when I actually ran into them. It may have been, a couple of days in or a weekend or so. But really it was just, trying to see where I fit in freshman year, meeting folks, trying to establish a community. And that was pretty much it. I was in class, in the books to the extent I could afford them. And that was pretty much it. I got involved as much as I could, joined Student Government Association. I joined the United African American Men. And so, yeah, I tried to stay busy, tried to, stay in the books and try to also have fun, but I really didn't do too much. I wasn't really going to the clubs or parties or anything like that. At least I don't remember going to that many parties in freshman year.
Listen, I totally get it. I didn't go to any parties at all. So listen, what I'm saying? For all my whole time in Fort Valley, no parties. And that is a real fact. I really did not, because that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't dance, not Greek, so I don't stroll. I used to always tell everybody, they were like, that makes sense. That makes a little bit of sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd identify with that. So let's talk about, your sophomore year, because I know that, with sophomore year, that's when, you really started getting to the swing of college. So what was sophomore year like for you?
Sophomore year. I was still in class in the books, but my weeks looked a little bit different. Especially that fall semester, sophomore year. I think I was probably at the club maybe 3 days a week. I know I was there like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which was crazy now that I'm looking back at it, but still was able to get up the next morning, make it to class. At least most of them, still was able to make the grades, still had a, high GPA. So, I guess for me at the time, it was important to keep the GPA up, but also try to have fun, which is what I tried to do. And I probably went from one extreme to the other, but it was a memorable time. I have some great memories from, my sophomore year. Still, active. I actually pledged Alpha Phi Omega the spring semester of my sophomore year. And, the connections and relationships that I developed, from freshman year to sophomore year kind of, propelled me through the rest of my college career. And it was amazing.
I love it. So let's talk about junior year. So what was junior year like for you?
So junior year, I actually moved off campus. So the summer before junior year started, ended up getting a house. And it was a 3-bedroom house. I think when I first moved in, I had one roommate. And me and that roommate, we were on the Grambling State University cheer squad together, which I had joined. Basically, I started my fall of my sophomore year. And, it was, fun. It was maybe 5 to 7 minutes outside of campus. And I remember at some point, we decided to, have some get-togethers at the house, whether, we were just inviting people over to play spades and drink all night, or, we were joining forces with, one of the modeling troops on campus, and, hosting parties, and, it was a good time. So junior year, never lost focus. Still maintained, my GPA. So academically was still strong, but it was just still learning to find that balance and still have fun and, be focused on what the goal is. And the goal was to graduate. So junior year was strong. I actually think I had enough credits at the time to be considered a senior. But yeah, it was just my experience at Grambling continued to increase every day I was there.
I love it. I love it. So senior year, that's the crowning achievement. That's what we are trying to get to. So,
Man,
you say you had credits, enough to be a senior, but as far as the social and educational experience combined together, what was that last year like for you?
Man, so it's hard to. So my senior year probably lasted a lot. Well, I can't say a lot longer than most, but if my senior year started like the last semester of my third year there, my fourth year, of course, senior year, but I decided to stay a fifth year because I was having so much fun. I literally had no reason to stay other than, maybe getting another degree under my belt and graduating with honors or something like that. And so my senior years, so it's probably like 2.5 years of seniordom. It was just fun. Like I literally just took that opportunity to, hang out, enjoy life, appreciate not having the responsibilities of being an adult outside of school yet. And really just enjoying everything that Grambling had to offer. And, for it to be in a small town, in the country off of I-20, it had a lot to offer.
It really did. Just listening to just all these interviews with you all, and then of course in anticipation of the book coming out May the 3rd, I definitely hear that. Like just going to Grambling really seems like the experience. It seems like almost like Hillman. You know what I mean? Like it seems super duper lit. Like TV shows and DJ. Like it seems just really amazing. So what would you consider like the year that really developed you into the man you are today?
Oh man. Probably have to say somewhere between my sophomore year and junior year. Coming in, some people might not agree with this, but in my mind, I was kind of shy and naive and not as confident. And, the things I was involved in kind of forced me to be confident, whether it was, being a part of a student government association or being a part of the cheerleading squad or Alpha Phi Omega or whatever it was that I was doing at the time, classes, leadership roles. It kind of forced that confidence out of me to be courageous, to take chances, to not be afraid of taking that leap, not being afraid of hearing the word no. That's kind of where I came out of my shell, and it basically opened up so many opportunities to me, and allowed me to just be fearless in going after my goals and basically leading me to the path or down the path of where I am today and continuing to go.
I love it. So like you say you were part of all these different organizations. You said the cheer squad, you said SGA. So like how did you balance being in all those organizations and also, continuing, your education?
I'll just say, if you're doing it right, and I'll just take, joining Alpha Phi Omega, for example, if you're doing it right, you really don't have time for all the extraness, meaning hanging out at the club all the time, going to all these parties and doing, other things that you probably shouldn't be doing. I had time to devote, to my studies, going to class, doing the work that's required, making sure that I eat, feed myself, making sure that I can get sleep whenever I do get sleep or take naps, and then whatever work that I had to do for the organization. And that's, kind of what you had to do for whatever you were involved in. And realize that, if you don't have time for something, then maybe you need to let something go, and not being afraid of letting that go. You just have to be honest with yourself. And then just, learning how to manage your time. That's something that I really learned in college, is how to manage my time. Um, if I wanted to go to this party on Friday, then I needed to make sure that whatever work that I had to do for Monday or for Friday or whatever it was, that I got it done in advance so that I can enjoy myself. And so a lot of times what I ended up doing was after class, to the extent I had time in between the next class, whatever work or reading I had to do, I would get it done during that break, and then, go on to the next class, kind of do the same thing. And by the time I'm done with my day, I usually didn't have much, if anything, to do. And so I had free time to do whatever I wanted to do, whether that was go down the street and hang out with some friends, go get a daiquiri from Rabs or something like that, or I had the ability to hang out, be free, enjoy myself, and that's what I wanted to do.
I love that. I love that. So let's go on and talk about, your chapter of the HBCU Experience, the Grambling State University edition. And like I said, found out the date is coming out May the 3rd on Amazon. So if you're listening, make sure to go check that out. So tell us a little bit about your chapter of the book.
So my chapter is really about I cover a couple issues that are in there, and one is kind of that the homesickness, and then also the importance of establishing a community, or rather a village, once you get to college. And at Grambling, it was fairly easy because it seemed like we were all on the same path. We had the same kind of goal and focus. We were there to both we were there to graduate, and we were there to have fun. And so, you saw a lot of folks, at least I was able to see a lot of folks who were focused on their books, maintain high GPAs, and then, we're hanging out, having fun, enjoying themselves, joining, government organizations, student organizations, different, whether it's sports teams or dance teams, cheer, whatever it was. They were able to do both, and they balanced it well. And so my chapter focuses on how, developing that village and that community can help you through the college experience. And you really establish some very important friendships and a foundation. And ultimately, that's how that's why we Gramblingites call each other Gram Fam, because we are each other's village, we are each other's support system. And that's how a lot of us were able to get through successfully and also have fun at the same time.
Hey, listen, like Gram Fam and FAMU at FAMU, those are the two best, names you all call yourselves. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like FAMU, the FAMU because it fits family, and Gram Fam, it rhymes. Gram Fam. Listen, I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So how does it feel just, to be in this book? This is the first edition. The HBCU Experience Movement has been in so many other HBCUs, and you're in the first edition. How does it feel?
Man, honestly, it's an honor. I talk about Grambling as much as I can. Anybody who's willing to listen, if I can talk to high school students about it, or kids, about college and my experience at Grambling State University, I'm willing to do it. And being able to put this information into a book and give people different perspectives of the college experience at Grambling State University is gold. There's a wealth of knowledge that I'm sure is being passed through this book from many of the authors, in the book. Many of whom I do know, whether it's we were friends, classmates, frat brothers, or just through the Grand Fam network. We've all had very good, even great experiences at Grambling State University, and also very different experiences. I'm not going to say that every day at Grambling was perfect, and that we didn't have any difficulties, any trials and tribulations like that, but we all were able to overcome those obstacles and still have an amazing experience. So much so that we're willingly offering this information to whoever's willing to hear it or read it, because that's how much Grambling means to us.
I love that. I love that. So, look, this is amazing. And, I'm glad, that you're in the book, and I'm glad, that you're able to share your experience at Grambling, especially being so involved on campus. Cause, as we all know, that's a lot, to really be, involved in that social scene, then be an active student. That is a lot. And I could definitely say that because I was super active my sophomore year. I thought I was the savior of Fort Valley, and I ended up failing my first class ever, my first and last class I ever failed. Like, what I'm saying? I got a D in a class that I was teaching folks how to use, computers. It was a computer class. I was teaching folks, and I got a D in that class, failed other class, got a 2.66, couldn't run for the SJ position I wanted to run for at that time. So like it's a lot. So I know there's a lot. So the fact that you were able to do that and make it happen, and then you do all these amazing things, that really means a lot. So, before we go to everyone where they can find you on social media.
All right. You can find me on Facebook at Reed Williams Law, or you can find me on Instagram at Reed Williams Law and cool_water 1911.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the show on today. But before we go, we have the trailer for the HBCU Experience, the Grambling State University edition. We have the trailer for it right here. It came out. It's coming out on May the 3rd. Make sure to order it on Amazon. Super dope. So listen, y'all check this out, and we'll be back on tomorrow.
I just want to rock. Body out of y'all.
Damn.
MC, make another hit.
This ain't what you want.
Project
This
X.
ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna. I just wanna rock. Body out of ya. Shorty got that body out of ya. Hit it once, no time. Side up, fuck, you gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my side. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5. That's my high. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5.
MC, make another hit.
This ain't what you want.
Project
This
X.
ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
Project X.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna. I just wanna rock. Body out of ya. Shorty got that body out of ya. Hit it once, no time. Side up, fuck, you gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my side. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5.